Welcome, welcome. We are live and back with East Coast Throwdown, Community Throwdown. What year is it? It's 2022. We are still at it, still playing some Street Fighter V. I am Brad Muse. Joining me is Liston the Prince. How are you doing, sir? I missed you last week.
Oh yeah. We missed you as well last week, right? The show had to go on, but we definitely remembered you. We kept you in our hearts, and we're so happy that you're back for another week. And welcome back. And we're here for some Street Fighter action. It is Street Fighter we're starting with, right?
Yeah, we're starting with Street Fighter.
Okay.
We've got Guilty Gear Strive cooking in the background. I know that
Mm-hmm.
bracket's going along. We can talk about that when we get there, but we are already up at this top four for Street Fighter V. And what a top four that it is. Sitting in the loser semis, which I'm starting with because you got some lore for the winners finals. But in the loser semis, DanSlip versus Metro M, two players that we've definitely seen in this tournament, in many an online tournament. But up in the winners finals, you were telling me about what went on last night. iDom
Oh
and
yeah.
nycfurby up here in the winners finals tonight.
Yeah, they're gonna have to rematch because Arturo was able to take that with a resounding 3-0 in the grand finals. First set in the grand finals. I believe it was it the first set? But I know it was a 3-0. It was a quick 3-0, right?
Yeah,
It might have been the second set. But
that is
anyways.
no disrespect to Art, right? Like Art's goated, right? Like no one can call into question Art's talent as a player, but the history of the lifespan of Street Fighter V and iDom as a competitor, combined with the character matchup of iDom's characters into
Mm,
Sim, does not paint a dominant 3-0 picture for Art. But
especially
we had Shin Art yesterday, apparently.
yeah, especially since it was Laura versus Sim, and that has traditionally been said to be a bad matchup for Dalsim. I'm sure if you ask any Dalsim player around the
Yeah, I mean,
world, Laura versus Sim, does that feel like a good matchup? I don't think they do.
yeah,
They'll
you're
say
a
it.
three-frame character with a floaty jump. I'm sorry,
A four frame
he's not a
character.
three-frame character. Four-frame character is
Four
what I
frame.
meant to say. You have no reversal. You have the floatiest of jumps. Once she gets in, you got to hold that stuff. It's like she is every single thing in a character that Dalsim doesn't want to see. And then the
Mm,
fact that like EX elbow was already enough getting through limbs and projectiles. And then in
yeah.
season 2 they were like, what if EX command grab also went through projectiles? Not that he has, a horizontal projectile, for the most part, but it's oh my god,
It's a
it's like they
tool.
design she's the anti-zoner grappler.
I know, and that also like when you fight against him, you want to get in. You want to be able to mix him up. Like you're gonna spend life to get in, and then you want to
Right,
exact your revenge, so to speak. Right now,
right.
she's a character that she's gonna go through the same struggles as everybody else, but she can do so much more up close
Oh
than
yeah.
others because
Oh
she's
my god.
designed to mix you up. All right, but we're gonna
Yeah,
go
no,
into the
it's
first match.
mhm. And it's gross what she can do to people. It's like it's like the clip of like, oh my god, is this what I do to people? I deserve to be in jail.
All
It's
right,
and I mean, I regret that I had missed yesterday's set. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that set now, just because I'm
it was
very curious about what what is it about Art. You were talking about that he's feeling empowered and feeling really good with respect to where his setup is at and
mhm.
the fluidity that he feels just in his ability to play and
Arturo is
interface with
is
the
is an
game.
advocate for like
Oh yeah.
maybe overclocking your controller, getting the most
Oh,
extreme setup, monitor setup, having a good PC. He's an advocate for it.
he is the person that comes to mind like when I think of like the 240 hertz, but the 240 plus hertz, because you were saying 480, but like the 240 hertz, like PC is the future wave of like Street Fighter competitors. Art is who I think of. iDom is giving us the poison going into this winners finals here. XSET's iDom, put some respect on that name,
Yes,
versus
and then
NYC
Arturo
Furby.
with all the sponsors and team names: TS, MA, BC, NYC Furby. All right, but yeah,
Oh, the
but
double
like
dash
like
gets checked.
like I said, definitely going with the poison this time. Doesn't want to go with the Laura this time.
That was a big whiff punish. And one of the things iDom is always really good at, it is very difficult to get away with cheeky dash stuff against iDom. iDom's
Oh
jab
yes.
checks are immaculate.
Yeah, that's the thing about IDOM too. Like IDOM has such a strong defensive gameplay,
Mm.
and it's solid. It doesn't really falter either.
I've
But
talked to somebody else about it, and their take on it was that they figured that iDom approaches situations defensively not dissimilarly to the way that a Laura player would approach an offensive situation, which is about understanding a lot of these options and making calculated decisions on what should be coming. Speaking of, that low forward was coming. The counter hit low forward, catching iDom doing something that was not holding some down back in the first round, goes to Art.
Yeah, it was a situation where now you got to guess for the round, so to speak. But iDom is gonna go into the second round with a lot of meter.
Yeah, so in theory, that would mean, oh, wow. Great
Well,
anti-air from Art. And the V-skill empowered fireball holding them down in the back.
I don't know. I feel like DanSlip's not even playing, like literally playing Marvel right now. When I see things like that, he's actually making his own assist.
Yeah, oh my god. I saw somebody posted a disgusting DanSlip mix-up in the corner the other day that actually had me shouting what out loud. Right,
It was
there's the
very
trigger
messy, right?
activation. Oh, the instant overhead, but that is unfortunate. Not a whole lot off of it, but look at this chip damage slowly building up.
Yeah, drop the teleport. Give me all, but Arturo's so ready to check. Still alive. Wow, good punish on that.
Yeah, that was real smart from iDom. Art continuing to slide under these Molotovs. I had another shooter, iDom.
Yeah, quickly reloaded. Click, pull. All right, but Arturo is gonna take that first game in this 3 out of 5 set. This is the winners finals. It was still very close, but I would say that DanSlip has a slight advantage in this matchup because it's not that easy for Poison to control all the ranges that she would like to.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they play a similar game, but I think the difference is where Poison needs to be set up is exactly inside of DanSlip's, like, some of DanSlip's most effective ranges. It's one of those matchups where it's just like, yeah, he does what you do, but better. One would think that what iDom would then do is, like, spend the bar on the EX heart rates and play a more, you know, mid-range / in-your-face game, but it's not what we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, and you saw like iDom trying to go for the EX heal kicks, maybe to get a knockdown like that.
Yeah.
They weren't working out in the first game. It slightly worked out there, but unfortunately unable to get a full conversion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if iDom's monitor was running at, you know, 780 hertz or something, the spacing would have been different, but not quite where we're at.
Seeing things in the future at that point.
Right, that's what you need to be looking at. He needs to believe.
All right, but right now, but iDom seems to believe enough to pick up that first round. DanSlip was cooking in the Molotov, able to accumulate all that gray health, and iDom took advantage of it.
The difficulty here is, like, you can see that iDom is trying to make these interesting trades. Art's use of that V skill too, and the fact that he is covering himself in a lot of these weirder spots as iDom is navigating around the fireballs is really good.
Yeah, and the thing about that V skill, it kind of takes control away from Poison, because usually she wants to be at that mid range or that full screen range, controlling space. But then if you give DanSlip the space, he's gonna control that space better, and now you have to contend with the fireball bouncing back.
Yeah, I mean, even we've seen some of these heal drops. It's like the fireball comes out and it's like, no, you're still covered on the back. Look at all that gray life from iDom. iDom needs to keep the offense going. Wake up, CA. It does not look like iDom was doing anything. No, iDom spent the 1 bar. Look at all that gray life.
I know, like, this is not impossible. Okay, it might be difficult now.
I mean, it's certainly going to be difficult, but this is still, I mean, if Art had the bar and the right hit, this could in theory be a one-touch game. The thing is, you can see that iDom is not going to overextend here. That dash forward in and of itself was kind of risky, and there it is, the great equalizer. This is actually a one-touch game. iDom's advantage here is that, like, a jab check is enough to do it. Big CA, and Art with the life lead, the dash up low forward is going to close out the round.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't even say anything. I was like, oh my god, that crush countered. Yeah, like, and I have to say, whatever Arturo figured out about this matchup, it just seems to be like, even in that situation where he wasn't in control as far as the life advantage, it seemed like he still was in control of the pacing.
You know what it feels like Art's doing? Art is playing super conservative. There's not a whole lot of risks in what Art is doing. Oh my god, great delay roundhouse. But yeah, Art is playing very clean and very calculated. There's not a lot of big risks. It's a lot of like, this is gonna cover me in this way. I can take
Oh
these
my god,
risks.
that was
I'm
plus.
chaining all this gray life.
That was plus. Stop. Alright, Arturo still in control. And iDom has, okay, finally has the A bar. Oh, that trade was still beneficial for DanSlip.
Right. I mean, you're back to this one-touch game. Art has V-trigger on deck, so now you're cooking. Any hit will do it. You knew it was going to be the sniper. You walked forward into it. Sir, step out of the vehicle. looking like, you know Phone Booth, that movie with Colin Farrell?
Yes.
How's that for a reference?
All right, but and I won't say that this is looking free. It's not looking free, right? It's long grinds, these two games, but still, it's still 2-0 in Arturo's favor.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of Art is not taking the risks that iDom needs to capitalize on, and Art's defensive play is immaculate. Like, every mistake that iDom is making is being capitalized on by Art, and then the matchup is just not in iDom's favor, and all of this stuff together is creating a situation where Art just looks... It's not like a blowout, but it's dominant.
Yeah, but right now, okay, so Arturo takes the throw, which is the right answer when you have a lead like that.
That's another thing. Art has been completely overwhelmingly willing to take the throw. I feel like we're not seeing a lot of these counter hits for iDom, and like in a matchup like this, you don't want to. Oh, that time he takes the throw. As I'm sitting here explaining that why Art is taking the throw, he goes and texts and gets blown up. What I was gonna say is, like, it feels bad to just go for the throw if you're iDom in this situation, because you're giving up so much life on the way in. You want your opportunity to be maximized. Throw, in some context, throw sort of like softly ends the offense. Great call out on the anti-air, catching Art trying to extend out of the corner, but Art's got a lot of resources here.
Arturo's in a real... Ooh, the late cancel gets checked.
Oh, yeah. The gutsy call on the long-range slide gets blown up. iDom closing out the round. Just as we were expunging about how wonderfully Art was playing, he gets blown up a little bit.
Yeah, I know, like really good adjustments. I don't know if it was an adjustment, more so that, like, I guess you could call it adjustment, but I feel like iDom wasn't getting in, and that game iDom perfectly got in twice.
Yeah. Yeah, so I suppose the question is, like, did Art make some mistakes, or has iDom found the rhythm and it just took 2 games to get there? We're gonna have to see.
Well, you know what, we have maybe 2 more games to find out, but iDom, the jumps are landing now. I don't know, maybe iDom has figured out solve the problem, maybe.
Yeah, you can see that Art is struggling a little bit more on defense as well. It's not just that iDom is getting in, it's that iDom has sort of has the finger on the pulse of what Art is doing defensively. I think Art needs to go back to being willing to eat the throw.
Well, right now, but Arturo managed to get that life lead. Is on offense. Oh, the anti-air misses. What a jump from iDom.
Back in the situation, spins the V reversal. That was a high dive kick. Gets called out. We are going to close out the round. That's 3 straight rounds here for iDom.
Yeah, a little bit more resistance from Arturo coming into that game, but still, iDom still able to navigate the minefield, so to speak, that DanSlip places. Alright, but iDom already in. What did he find out? What did he figure out?
I'm not sure, but you know what? iDom's one of the best players in the world for a reason, and one of those reasons is because of his ability to surgically identify his opponent's tendencies and then start to capitalize on them. But now, we got Zoner, by the way, DanSlip with this corner pressure, goes for the teleport back, but iDom calculated, understands the teleport back is coming, and blows up Art for trying to cover his own escape.
Counter hit combo. It's gonna be some good damage. Counter it confirmation as well.
Oh,
yeah, now Arturo is being a bit more buttonsy on defense.
It seems like
you know what? I think
had the
first
2 games straight. Yeah, he had the 2 games. He was like, "Oh, cool. All right, cool. You know what? I'm in a good spot." And then it started to shift away from him, and it's sort of like that. You can see he's trying, like he was juggling perfectly fine, and now he's trying to recover, and he's floundering a little bit.
Yeah, I think in the first 2 games, Arturo was able to play in situations where he didn't really have to worry about iDom's pressure too much. Like, iDom wasn't playing a pressure game. He was trying to play patiently and neutral. Now iDom is like, no, I'm gonna go on offense.
Right. And it's weird, right? We were talking about the difficulty that Poison should be having in this matchup because her effective range is so firmly within Sims. But you can see that iDom is completely in control of the neutral so far, and Art is on the back foot, but not in a I am controlling space way, but in a I am trying to gather space way, which is a very important differentiation. The missed teleports starting to get blown up as well. There's the punish on the whiffed grab. V-shift into V-break. That's a meaty slide.
All right, Arturo on offense. Technically, okay, now has the life lead. Oh, unable to anti-air because of the whiff-standing medium kick. Gray life accumulating. And then the throw is going to end.
All right, we are on set
for the
point
first
for iDom.
Yeah, iDom has the lead in this set. Throw.
Going for the throw. So you know what? I appreciate the throw call. I figured that maybe he was going to back off, but instead it was the auto space, the really meaty slide, and set up the 50-50 after the fact, which works out. Now he's got the whole stage to back up on, but no check on the double dash. Now you're back into the corner again. V-shift to get away from the negative situation from iDom, and iDom is perfectly in the pocket right now. Oh.
What a good call with that EX. Oh, and the perfectly spaced out heals. So now, even though it's -4, you can't punish it. So if you have to press like a medium attack. Oh, and the dash forward punish on that jump backwards roundhouse. I don't know. I really wonder what iDom figured out to get under Arturo's skin. Because it was like it went from the second game looking kind of bad when it ended, right? And then it just flipped completely, and then now iDom was like, now I win.
Right, like I don't want to say download complete because there's so much like BM loaded into that, but you can kind of see there's definitely some switch flipped in game 2 where iDom was like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do, and then proceeded to do it, and it was like I'm very curious. Like this is one of those. That's definitely one of those sets that like will be really interesting to go back to. And to try to break down of like what is the difference in the tendency here. I know part of it was like I want to identify the moment. Like iDom obviously made a change, but I want to identify the moment when Art stopped looking comfortable. Because somewhere in that, by game 4, Art no longer looked comfortable. Art didn't look like the same Art who was comfortable and in control and completely dictating the pace of the matchup. Something that iDom did took that control away from Art, and it never got back.
Game 2, where Arturo was down, I want to say down like 40% life.
Yeah.
Had like 15% Dawson, maybe 10% Dawson, whatever. Like he was definitely losing, right? Able to fight for the next 40 seconds to get the life lead and win that round. He literally could not get hit for 40 seconds.
Yeah, slow, methodical, so much gray life building up. Like that match, that round was equalized in like one hit. Like an errant fireball trap ended up doing like it was a 40% leave and it did like 25-30% with all the gray life that had gotten up and cooked. Maybe part of it was I felt like iDom shied away from trying to use heal to do some cheeky ways to navigate the mid-range, and instead was more willing to be like, I'm going to get to that range, and I'm going to be much more comfortable poking with like standing medium kick into EX heart rate and forcing the +2 situation, make Art have to spend a defensive resource to get out of the situation, which nullifies the V trigger coming up as often as it did. We are loading here into the loser semis now of DanSlip versus Metro M.
A very different matchup.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be Cammy versus Vega. Now, on the one hand, Metro M is going to want to keep keep Cammy out, but it's not so easily done because of the specific like how specific you have to be with Vega's anti-airs, I should say,
or lack thereof.
Oh, lack thereof. I mean, it's not that he lacks anti-airs. Down Fierce does anti-air. It just has a very specific range.
Yeah, we were talking about you know, intended versus emergent gameplay and the design decisions of like intended anti-airs and stuff, and the fact that like Vega's in this weird spot, exactly like you're talking about, where like, yeah, he has an anti-air, but it is almost deliberately not the best one.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I think that was part of the design decision. Like, because Vega, if you give him everything he needs, as in like an anti-air or a reversal, he's going to be top tier, and it's going to be extremely annoying. Look at CVS2. Look at look at Super Turbo.
Right.
Look at Super Turbo. Like,
oh god, I don't want to look at Claw and Super Turbo.
Exactly. Now, when people ask why is Claw bad, you have to look at the war crimes, the 20-year war crimes that he has to pay for, right?
20-year war crime. Show them Tokido's Claw.
Yeah. Like Tokido, I swear to God, I think he learned how to play Claw that week.
Oh my god. Oh, what an unfortunate drop. I was about to say, when that standing strong hit from DanSlip, I was like, okay, this might go your way at the timeout, but no, Metro M slides away with it at the actual last second. I don't need a good anti-air to win out a round, says Metro M, who's played Claw for so long. Like, the amount of Metro M Claw that I have watched, particularly since quarantine started and we've all, you know, been online, has been astounding. Great hit confirm on the low forward there from DanSlip.
All right, now DanSlip trying to go on offense, has the trigger activated already, but oh, and that's a trade combo too. And I love that Metro backed away because obviously Cammy had the trigger activated, so she was about to get a free DP. There's gonna be some free damage though.
Oh, we are cashing out into the CA. Okay, I wasn't sure whether we were gonna, you know, just let that rock and try to, you know, go for a mix-up after the fact. But naturally, this is Cammy. She gets the mix-up anyway. You are stuck in the corner. Exactly correct amount of delays. DanSlip's frame traps have been exposing Metro M's tendencies so far in this round. We saw the big roundhouse crush counter earlier, and then that micro delay into the crouching strong to close out that round there.
It's gotta be scary to go for Buster Claw with Vega, like the forward fierce. Like, I think she can always punish. Like, I know Cannon Drill has to be like, it's pretty fast. I forgot what it was. But
oh no, that's not what you want to see. Cash out into the CA on the side of Metro M. That's a big chunk of damage and a healthy.
Vega gets a mix after a CA as well. Doesn't go for it.
Metro has given an awful lot of space to DanSlip in situations where he should have advantage. We saw, you talked about the trade combo in the first round as well, but in that scramble, Metro backed off. There has been a tendency to back off and just let this rock, closing out the round anyway.
You know what?
Maybe maybe being very calculating on the risks that they take, but there is a lot of room being given to DanSlip. You know, Metro seems completely willing to, like, not every plus frame situation needs to be expanded upon.
Yeah, like when you look at how Vega is played traditionally, not Street Fighter 5, right? But traditionally, Vega is a spacing character. Vega is the character that you don't want to scramble with. You want to control space. You want to space people out. You want to use your superior range, and usually Vega has like less health. I think he has 1,000 health with the mask on in this game. So technically, he doesn't have less health, right? Until he loses the mask. But you kind of don't want to be in those situations. And I respect that Metro is playing that way, like going away from because Cammy is gonna benefit from scramble situations way more than Vega will.
Yeah, I think the difficulty is, you know, as an engine, 5 really feels like it wants to be played in a particular way. Like that scramble, that +2 magic number situation is so common.
Yeah, that is true.
If Claw as a character wants to get away from that great anti-air on the V-trigger, are you dead on the Barcelona? Yes, you are. Yeah,
like I agree with you. Like 5 kind of wants to be played in an aggressive way, because most characters don't have very long limbs. Vega, not one of those characters. Standing strong is pretty good, you know, for mid-range battle. Cammy does have standing medium kick, but she's gonna want to get in, especially against a character with no DP like Vega.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice walk under, and Metro has been great with recognizing when walking under a jumper is the right answer.
There's finally that reversal DP being let rip from DanSlip, seemingly in one of the times where Metro does commit to doing something in the scrambly situation with another round on the board here. So another game going to the last round. Pretty back and forth so far between these two, which is a testament to Metro. I feel like this is a matchup that could snowball into Cammy's favor very easily when she gets into that range 0.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you don't even have to be a Vega player to fall victim to Cammy's gameplay. You can be any character in this game.
Anybody can get it.
Yeah, anybody can get it. Right? It just so happens that Vega, if Vega gets knocked down, Vega will most likely fall victim to it. But I will say that Metro's actual neutral game and that neutral defense, spacing, and even on a wake-up defense, right? The willingness to take throws and block it out and maybe micro walk out is the reason why he's succeeding in this matchup.
Oh, what a read on the reversal DP from Metro M, but commits to the button. DanSlip holding some down back, gets out. We see the jump back and attempted a jump back anti-air, but DanSlip committed to the dive kick. It doesn't matter. Metro M with the counter poke, closing out the round. Game 2, and this was losers semis, so I do believe that's going to be the set here for Metro M. Yeah, it's going back to our shining faces. It is going to be the set for Metro M, which means we're going to see losers finals is going to be Metro M and Art.
Yeah, no, like, and Metro wasn't challenging very much in that situation. Very much willing to block it out. Very much willing to take the throw. Unless, obviously, you're in that situation where throw equals death, right? But in that situation, throw did equal death. DanSlip was slightly far away with that tick grab. Had to walk in. Vega has a 3-frame light kick. Came into play right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, to DanSlip's credit, like I said, there were a lot of those situations where DanSlip's frame trap game was really good. We were seeing a lot of those big counter hit setups or crush counter setups that are so huge for Cammy and are part of what exposes that walk game. But to your point, as this throw game started opening up, we were seeing some of those calculated counter pokes. But also, I feel like, one, Metro M defensively was just slippery enough to never really stay dealing defensively against DanSlip for very long. And two, I feel like DanSlip was consistently making calls that put themselves on the back foot while trying to steal back turns, or it was going back to the mid range and they were trying to get back in. Like you talked about the walk forward. I think, or we saw how many jumps, like every V trigger that Metro M got turned into a big anti-air combo that either what led to big damage, a side swap to give Metro M corner position and the full screen to walk back, or both.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, yeah, the standing rose throw, right? Like the V trigger. Yeah, like it punished a jump one time. I'm like, really? Like she was so high, right? But you know, like, but Metro was making really good calls on jumps, like the walk unders, even the air to airs. I saw Metro trying to go for an air grab. Definitely using all the available options to dissuade or punish jumps. And I think because he's being so slippery and changing up options, like DanSlip couldn't really get his rhythm on what he was trying to do. But gonna be a very different matchup now. Not gonna be Cammy. Probably Vega is going to be the one that's going to actually be going on offense in this matchup.
Yeah, this is not entirely dissimilar to the Poison matchup in the sense that Sim makes characters that do want to be mid-range poke heavy, and suddenly it puts them in the position of having to wear that other hat and be the aggressor and have to move into a space rather than controlling a space in front of them.
Yeah, and you see Metro already trying to implement that aggressive game plan. Arturo smartly uses the EX Yoga Fire just to be able to switch positioning.
Ooh, bringing out the overhead already, and these pokes has a slight life lead now, does Metro. And I think one of the things is you can see that once Metro has the life lead, perhaps a little bit more complacent to take the time. There's the V-shift back to try to get out of the fire. The Barcelona drop, actually, great punish there from Art with the teleport to sort of auto time, but you getting scooped, my guy. One more guess for game?
Oh, good slide. Gets the crush counter. A little bit too far. Oh. Yeah, and that's plus on block. Yeah, and that gray life was just enough to make that forward grab kill. Actually, I wonder if it would have killed anyways, because I think Vega lost the mask.
I think you're right. I think the previous sequence before that, Vega had lost the mask. So I think you're right.
Okay, and that's plus on block. The EX Yoga Flame. I'm sorry, Yoga Gale into fly.
Oh my god, how many roundhouses was that? One more than Metro was prepared for. One thing for Metro is I think this is another matchup where it looks like Art is overwhelmingly willing to take the throw. We're seeing Metro go for some of these setups that are like whiff trap setups. Oh no, the Yoga Sniper whiffs. Now Metro has this dominant corner position to try to make something happen. There's the smart throw tech from Art. The late cancel into the flame carpet gets blown up, and the teleport also gets blown up, but Metro saves the bar because he wants to kill on the next hit. Or you are going to be able to, though. Oh my goodness, Metro M!
You know, I was thinking to myself, like, I think if Arturo had activated Trigger on Metro's on the Dizzy, right? As he was getting up, he could have cooked Metro in the middle of that combo.
And that would have made the difference.
But, you know, Metro makes a comeback. Arturo's still on offense. And
this is a
you
good
have to
position
back
to
off.
be in.
Yeah, you kind of have to back off against Vega, too.
Yeah, one thing that Claw has going for him in this matchup, right, is like the slide goes so far, the forward dash goes so far. A lot of the movement tools that he has, even when checked on a forward dash, like a jab or a strong check, like you still gained a fair amount of space.
Yeah. And also, like, even when Vega is, like, in the corner, if you're not exactly on offense, you have to watch out for the wall jump. Oh, that's gonna kill, yeah. Alright.
Art closing out this first game, and you can see it was an antsier Metro, I think, but there's elements to which you kind of have to do that, right? Like we were talking about, you need to wear a different hat in this matchup. I will meditate and then destroy you.
It doesn't seem like you found inner peace with that meditation. You're doing something wrong, right? But yeah, like I feel like when you fight against Dawson, Dawson kind of brings out the worst in everybody. Like,
oh yeah,
like if you're not a wild player and you're not willing to like gamble on offense, when you fight against a really good Dawson, you find yourself making the hardest of decisions and just rolling.
Oh my god, zoners will do that to you. That's why people get so mad at zoners, especially early on in a game when people haven't really understood the way that the risk reward happens or the way the engine wants for you to work. Speaking of, all right, there's the reversal back, a gray life going away. Not the gray life, I'm sorry, the stun. EX Barcelona works as an anti-air through the float, but we up forward into EX Gale out of the throw tech setup. But once again, Art just kind of walking back, and Metro was in the, like, had the right call with the low forward check. It would have caught the walk back, but Metro continues to be ever so slightly out of range for all of these little calls that are getting made.
That was a slight punish. Doesn't get a full combo. Oh wow, I'm surprised that jump roundhouse did not punish that standing roundhouse. Well, okay, Metro on offense has this corner situation.
Yeah, but look to the fact that like Metro had to walk forward to get that throw, right? Like Art's walking back. The spacing that this situation keeps happening is such that even though Sim doesn't have a great walk speed, it still is just enough that Metro does need to close that distance, which is a big commitment for Art to have planted in Metro M's mind because it opens Metro up to getting counterpoked. Oh, that was not a good slide, my guy.
And the thing about both these characters is that they both can kind of rush down pretty well in this matchup. Because obviously Dawson doesn't have reversal options outside of super, maybe teleport, and those can be punished, right? So Vega's gonna want to get in, but if Dawson knocks Vega down, Dawson can also go to town on his lack of defense as well. So it's an interesting dynamic. It's truly like both of them can get mauled. They both can get it.
Yeah. Meaty on the fireball, falling down with the falling limb in the air. Art with the life lead, so he backs off, has a little bit of bar in the back. What's the mix-up going to be? I did not block that, but Art did not confirm it either, unfortunately. There's the sliding knockdown. Shoutouts to Dragon Ball.
Sliding knockdown. Oh, no anti-air attempt from Archer, just walks out of that situation.
See, up forward to get away from the dive kick because you wanted to get out of the fire, but you corner yourself. That's a really tough situation to be in. Stays same side.
Oh,
not quite a corpse top. Oh my god, that was a no mix-up, and Art fell for it. Now the life lead here for Metro M goes for the jump forward, but the second low short catches Art trying to do something. Game on the board for Metro.
Like, Metro kind of lucked out there. There was like a stance switch in front of Arturo, and I don't think that Metro wanted that. I think that was an accident. But it was enough to get Arturo to flinch. But
yeah,
all right,
I mean,
but
that's one of those Vega things that you see people doing, where it's like you stance switch on someone in their face, and if they're a lower level player, if they're say me, they're not watching for that. But what's happened is Art wasn't watching for it because Metro hadn't represented that like whatsoever in the set. So by the time it was like, oh word, you did that, and then got smoked on the counter hit. Speaking of counter hits getting smoked, that's the big stun now. Do we have the meter to close this out?
Oh,
yes, we
should
with the EX Barcelona.
Oh,
no.
On the trade.
Right, somebody tag Sage Am. I want to see that in this month's Will of Kill.
All right. I don't know. Suddenly Metro, much like iDom, just had all the answers, got in. Once again in.
I mean, it's huge, right? Like, Dalsim is such a momentum-heavy character, and if they figure out what they need to do in order to get in on you, it's very hard as the Dalsim player to find enough breathing room so that you can change up your neutral. Like, you really need at round start. You need to make a change at round start that swings it back in your favor. You need to be a binary reality.
It's funny to call on Dalsim a momentum character, but it's true though, because like if you think about it, Dalsim is all about momentum. Whether he's on momentum or controlling your momentum, he's all about that. Like, I want to stop your momentum. I want to control space. I want to knock you down. I want to go on offense and rush you down. But right now,
he either has control of the pace or he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. But right now, I think Arturo has gotten control of it slightly, but right now it might be too little too late unless Metro makes a really big mistake. But wait a minute.
That's good Grey Life, but Metro just needs to not really extend here. Use the V-trigger. I mean, you tried to check the slide, but even that notwithstanding, managed to navigate the way out. Great confirm on the low forward there to close out the round. I actually was not prepared for Metro to combo off of that in the moment.
Didn't even know that worked. Yeah. I didn't even know that was plus enough to get a counter hit combo at the slide. But
maybe it was like a spacing specific thing. I don't know.
Metro's such a strong expert with this character, able to actually get the max range like conversion just for the kill.
That puts Metro at 2-1 and on set point here to earn the chance to go up against iDom. Which of these two characters without reversals gets to go against iDom?
All right. And then you see like Metro going for the jumps, and obviously you want to slide with Dalsim, but then Metro's so ready for the slide to punish it with like shorts and jabs.
Right. Oh, nice. Actually, a shift to an air-to-air, anti-air approach here, back into float to generate a mix-up for himself, might be a good adjustment here for Art, because like you're saying, obviously just sliding underneath is not quite working.
Oh my god, the gray health. Law actually lost a claw in that entire interaction.
Right, but this is a great spot to be in. There's the meaty slide, going for a different type of sniper here, but working out just fine. The armament doesn't matter. We get results. Up around here is nycfurby. Okay, I saw you spent the bar. You should not have, sir. But a big jump in here. Metro M.
did a whole grip of life, all good block on the overhead. Slight punish. DanSlip doesn't really get big punishes on overheads. Damage is damage.
Yeah, and this is a great offensive sequence here from Art.
Trying to change the narrative,
really,
so to speak.
Yeah, and you can see Metro getting flustered, right? Like, Gale, okay, well, no, I throw tech that time. No, okay, I have to tech the throw now. You don't want to deal with any of that. Spins the rose. Are we going to spin the bar? No. Goes for the mix-up after the fact. Oh, I don't want the CA. I'm going to go for the command grab. Art with the up forward.
I don't know. That decision was a very costly decision. I understandably though, like you need to get something started, but Arturo with the willingness to do Tiger Knee EX scales, and Tiger Knee EX scales is a pretty good decision, because if it works out and you go into float, you're plus 10, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, it's coming out great in these spots where Metro is trying to go for these low tech situations. And it seems as though it's coming out fast enough that, like, there's not a whole lot he can do. It just, you know, paper covers rock.
All right, but Arturo has figured something out. Kind of stopped the bleeding a bit. And
I think it's actually more utilization of float. It's a different attempt to approach to control. It's like, all right, you were going to the air a lot, like you called out. I go into float. I can get the anti-airs from the air if I call it out right. If I don't, then you have to contend with, do you control the space above you, or do you let me get something happen? That's going to be a stun, though. How is Metro going to capitalize off of this? Are we going to see a reset? Yes, we are. Art falls for it. Goes for the meaty button that time. I love the up forward, a complete understanding that Art is going to want to go for the slide activation. Tries to expose it. Doesn't get the hit, but does get the block string situation after the fact that opens up this round and gets Metro on the set point.
I think I know what happened, because like Arturo has shown a willingness to go for Tiger Knee Gales, but now Metro seems to have abandoned going for throws up close. And if you notice that the resets weren't throw resets, they were like walk up buttons.
Yeah.
And it was saying counter.
And it's the right call. You want to catch those pre-jump frames.
Alright, but Arturo chosen to go on offense. Pretty close to getting a stun, but alright, that quick counter slide lands. Vega no longer in stun territory.
Yeah, mask is off, claw is off. Big jump in though.
Oh, it doesn't spin the bar on it.
Off the wall into Rose wants to make something happen. Oh no, we do not live. I had forgotten that there was a button coming. I was like, you got one more guess? No. You got one more sliver of health. And we are on the last round of losers finals.
Alright, nice walk out of that throw situation from Metro. Arturo does have the meter advantage. And that may come into play, and already is with these block trends. Oh, good neutral jump there. Yeah. Just get out of that situation. You don't wanna let like DanSlip steal a turn back with the spaced out drills.
Okay, dash forward, forward throw. Jump forward, the slide working out to Art's detriment here. Getting a little bit closer to the corner, so we teleport back out. But Metro, a lot of these errant pokes, I mean, the jump in sequence obviously created a large life lead. Oh, big counter hit, and it's exactly what you talked about. It was not going for the throw. It's close up buttons for the counter poke. Anything will do it. So we have planted the nugget of I'm going to walk up button and you're going to respect these counter hit setups to finally end it on a tick throw. Art thoroughly dissuaded from TK Gale out of throws and then killed on a throw to close out the round.
Yeah, like I think after the round that Metro lost with the TK Gales, I think something like clicked, was like, okay, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna go for a meaty, and a meaty fierce or even a delay button would kind of beat, delayed mashing, and it also would beat, the Tiger Knee Gale. So whichever call Arturo made right there, whether it's throw, delayed mash, to like delayed Tiger Knee Gale, whatever, right? That kind of beats that. Obviously, the options to beat delay button is to actually just wake up mashing, right? But
right,
that's such a hard call, especially in high level play. I think top players or like high level players are less likely to do just straight up mash when they wake up. There's usually some kind of delayed option.
I think it depends, right? Because, you know,
Hmm.
so obviously with Metro winning, Metro goes on to play against iDom, who is a player that is not dissuaded. Like, iDom is the reason that there's the meme of like Laura's wake up jab is 1 frame,
2
because
frames.
iDom will mash out that wake up reversal jab. But I think the thing is, you know, like we talked about earlier, if you understand the options that come from, you know, XYZ knockdown situation for whatever character from the cast, it's not like it's a pure guess, right? Like I'll use Laura as an example, right? After a command grab, the only thing Laura gets that's true meaty outside of trigger is standing roundhouse, right? So if Laura's not going for standing roundhouse after the command grab, you can mash. I mean, unless they go for something like ridiculous like armor or something. I don't know. But we are going to
I mean,
see the poison instead here in Grands. I don't sticking with the poison here.
yeah, like I feel like I don't. I mean, either character I feel does decent in the match, but I think Vega can fight Laura decently. I think because
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
think she has
Vega
the
is equipped in a way to slow her down. Like, she has a lot of anti-fireball tools, but Vega's a zoner that is purely limb-based. There's no fireball, so she has to commit to either winning the neutral or making a gutsy call on EX elbow. And every
Mhm.
EX elbow is an EX clap that you're not getting, which means one less reset or one less +2 block
Yep.
situation to chain your offense together.
All right, but so far Metro has a very good life lead, not taking a lot of risks. I like the risk averse gameplay. Once you have the life lead, you're not the one that needs to take those gambles anymore.
Yeah, and Vega's a character who is in a great position to not take those gambles. You get a life lead like this, why go in
This is
at all? iDom's the one that needs to
Oh.
make a call, and call he does, but the back throw.
Oh, and I feel like that wasn't a delayed throw. That was an immediate throw, and it looked like iDom tried to delay some button for a hard counter hit. All right, it's getting hot in here. Metro taking off the shirt.
That's what ended up saving it for him against Art. The shirt came off, and suddenly there was the power boost. It was the weighted clothing.
Gotta take the
Did
weights
you
off,
see
right?
Metro zipping around the screen?
Right, but you know, iDom not impressed. Right, has the life lead now. Can Metro break this defense?
Has the life lead, but has slowly been walked back to the corner here.
Oh, yeah.
And you see
Yeah, has-
that Metro understands, like, inside of a certain range, you need to respect the whip. Outside of it, like, you're okay. And Vega has that great walk speed, that great dash in as well. The V shift back gets called out on like the last frame.
He lost the claw. Mask is the only form of defense left. Oh, the mask is gone. Ah, I knew it was you, Vega, all this time.
No hit confirm on that low strong either. That's going to close it out with the cooking from the Molotov. iDom with a round on the board now.
Yeah, you know what? Even with iDom losing the real estate, and like, you know, iDom had the life lead, but definitely lost the real estate advantage. It didn't seem to matter too much, because like iDom still kind of, even when it's back to the corner, it always seems like he has control over the pace.
Yeah, and
He's
I
like-
think Poison, when Poison does get the chance to start to open her game up, if it does get to range 0 with Poison and control, I think Poison's offense is more explosive than Claw's, right? So
At least
it's
more damaging.
easier- Yeah, it's more damaging. You know, spending the bar to cycle back to that +2 situation is something that Poison can do that Claw doesn't.
I would
There's
say
those
that
jab checks that iDom is so good about.
I would say that clawless Vega is probably better on offense than her, just because of the command grab and the walk speed.
Sure.
But this is not clawless Vega. This is claw Vega.
Right. I mean, I don't think you can safely take the claw off until you're already firmly in that range 0. But even
Oh,
then,
yeah,
like,
of course.
iDom's checking these dashes, you know that Metro M is not going to get away with the same sort of in-your-face stance switch stuff that Metro got away with against Art.
Oh,
Keeping all
definitely.
this stuff tight, so little life left.
I always kind of wonder, like, because when I think about clawless Vega, I think, is he he's a command grab character. He has a command grab, right? But I don't think of him as a grab character. You know, like I don't think of him as like a Mika, or Mika,
Sure.
right? But then at the same time, he kind of loses range. He loses standing strong range. Kind of has to walk in a little bit more. You exercise plus frames because then Vega starts playing Street Fighter 5 like regularly. You know, I have to go in and use my plus frames and mix you up. And then I'm like, is he a grappler? Flawless?
I feel like I like the term hybrid to describe situations like that, where it's like you have a command grab which supplements an otherwise straightforward strike throw kit.
Because I was thinking to myself, like, if he didn't have a command grab, then I would say that Clawless Vega maybe needs a reversal to differentiate between Claw Vega and Clawless Vega, right? I don't know. It's an interesting debate.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting point. Oh, the check on the jab from Metro M, but iDom, a check of their own. Cashing out these checks, spends the bar. Oh, I'm sorry, you do not get to off the wall. There has been an overwhelming tendency for Metro, once in the corner, to spend the bar on an EX off the wall to try to get out of the corner. And iDom was so ready.
Yeah, if the option is not getting checked, it's definitely a good option to reverse your fortunes. And plus, like, you can leave the corner completely, or you can maybe like go for a cross and B plus on the way down. If they try to anti-air you and they fail, you know, you get some good damage. Now you have the advantage. Now you have pressure going for you and positioning. Oh yeah, good punish on that. Good eye on that Buster Claw. Definitely way too close on that spacing. All right, but now Metro. Oh, okay. I was about to say it was a bad slide, but spends trigger on the slide. And the thing about iDom has Metro in a situation where he's doing a lot of guessing on slides because iDom is just walking out of range.
Yeah.
And that's annoying because like he needs to mix her up and then he can't mix her up successfully.
Yeah. It's not dissimilar to the problem we were seeing against Art, where it felt like you want to hit that low forward, but a little bit of walk back is all it takes to keep you out of it. But Poison has a far better walk speed and is happening into these situations at these slightly different ranges where the only call you can make is exactly the one you're talking about. You need to make that big call on the slide, but it's not working. So what's the alternative? You can like try to close the distance and just walk forward, but iDom is already in control. You're on the back foot. You could go to the air, but iDom's anti-airs have been really on point. Speak of the devil.
And you already got anti-aired. Okay, but the crush down lands, double dash into the corner, good tech from iDom. His positioning is in Metro's side, but very, very, very willing to, you know, back off. And that's the type of respect that iDom commands. Because you don't want him to jump out of the corner, because Vega won't be able to anti-air that jump short successfully.
Right.
Like
and
that.
then you've got the whole stage has to spin the V reversal to make sure that they're not dealing with the situation defensively, but it's like now you're back to mid-screen here.
Yeah, like and just small decisions like that, like kind of keep you on your toes. Because if you're going too hard, and obviously, you know, like offense is finite, you know, like you're gonna get pushed out, and then you have to steal a turn back. Your opponent has to let you steal that turn back. And iDom is so good at reading when your turn is ended and what you're paying attention to, and then he'll make decisions based on that. He'll make reads based on that.
The EX Barcelona's, like the EX off the walls, seems so desperate from Metro. Like, I don't know. The only time you ever really see that move is for the cheeky, unblockable, quote-unquote, cross-up in the corner. And the fact that we're seeing Metro using it, like, in mid-screen, in the neutral, I feel like is a testament to how difficult it seems like Metro is, a time Metro is having in just navigating iDom on the screen here. iDom right now on tournament point, 2 games up, round up on the board. Fair amount of bar in the corner and the life lead. These crouching fierces controlling the space. Metro finally has iDom back to the corner, but exactly like you talked about, Metro fears overcommitment because if iDom gets out of the corner,
Oh,
look at the difficulty you're going to have. Wow, the back throw. Now, I'm sorry. This was my corner.
yeah. Oh, and doing everything possible to not block, and then iDom is just playing his game, and it's still thwarting the reversal options, the flip options.
Yeah, it's actually kind of wild. Like, so many of Poison's moves were so active that Metro's making these calls, going for the flip, going for the V reversals and stuff. And it's like, oh, you thought you were out. I swing
You
twice.
thought.
It was just like, you thought. That's like the tagline of that grand final set was like, you thought. I felt like Metro pulled every trick that they conceivably had to try to make that happen. Different decisions defensively, different big gutsy reads on offense. Go to the air, you thought anti-air. Slide, you thought blocked and blown up. You walked me into the corner, you thought I jumped out. Backflip, nah, you thought EX heart rate hits twice, pulls you right back in. It was not a good look for the matchup.
Yeah,
It looked very frustrating to watch as a player. I would hate to be sitting in that seat.
I kind of feel like if I know the type of game he was trying to play. He was trying to control the space, right? But I think
Right.
once you got to the corner, maybe switching to non-claw stance and playing a more aggressive, a more like a simpler game plan.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
you're
I think
absolutely
sometimes
right. Like,
sometimes like simplifying what your goals are, right? Like I feel like Metro is doing a good job of breaking down the matchup, like the mid range matchup, but then at the
mhm.
same time he's missing what it needs to close the matchup out. Like
Yeah, I think you're right. We saw step 1 of the game plan,
yes,
and it was
it's
like
beginning.
it was
It's
like
beginning. It's a
right,
good beginning. It's a
right.
very good beginning.
Like, step 1, play footsies and control the neutral. Step 2, walk out onto the corner. Question mark, profit.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Like,
think you
but what
called out
is?
what question mark should have been, but what we saw from Metro is it was like,
Yeah,
I guess I'm
like
gonna continue standing at claw range and like try to
no,
bring
but
in my
I
anti-airs.
respect sticking with the game plan. Like, you tried out the game plan. The game plan worked to a degree, but then you didn't have a fallback plan,
Yeah,
so to speak. Or you didn't have like more to the game plan. And I think,
yeah,
and then Idom kind of picked up on that, and then Metro was like, he didn't want to like, like I respect that Metro doesn't want to like scramble. So you see a lot of times he's going back into neutral. I don't want to get in the situation where I can get back thrown into the corner. And yeah, I respect that
yeah,
completely. But I think he needs a little more aggression once he
yeah.
gets to actual zone. But say what
Yeah,
you're gonna say.
I'm reminded of Justin Wong did a video a while back talking about his approach and mindset, and one of the things he was talking about was yeah, I believe the context was in Street Fighter Five, but it
Mm,
was like, yeah, sometimes people get to that point where they've achieved the game plan, they have the person cornered, they really want to do the thing, and what do? They overextend to try to finish the job when all they really needed to do was just like, they had the game under control. They could have just sat there, like sat on the control and been like, all right, cool,
mm.
this is working, this is mine. And that's exactly what Metro was trying to do. I think just the difficulty is like,
I get
what
it
we
though. It's
found
not
was
easy.
yeah, it's not easy. And
And
over the
plus,
span of the entire grand final set, I felt like it was becoming more and more clear that it was like, you couldn't give iDom that room in the mid range. You were controlling the pace by way of slowly working iDom back to the corner and having that space on the screen. But once iDom's back was to the wall, iDom is doing something very different. Not walking back, not trying to play those footsies, trying to find different ways defensively to counterpoke.
mm,
And Metro needed to make an adjustment in response to that, and it's not what we saw. And so that's going to close out this week's community throwdown here for Street Fighter V. iDom
yes.
taking the dub. No big surprise. I don't know how many times I've said that since we've been running these community throwdown events, but one of the best players in the world for a reason. XSET made a good call in picking him up. Shout outs to Metro at second, third going to Art, and DanSlip down there at fourth. We are going
Fourth
to
place.
have a quick break, but we have Guilty Gear Strive on deck for y'all as well, and to give y'all a little bit of insight into the bracket, because that's been running in the background. The winners finals, Umisho and Jay Rain. And then sitting down here in the loser side, Intel Razzo in the loser semis, waiting for the winner of Flash Metroid and Yurikov. That looks like the only match that we're waiting on right now.
Yes. I don't believe I've ever heard Jay Rain's name, but obviously they're good if they're in the winners finals. And I look at more of the bracket. I saw that they put Flash Metroid in the losers bracket,
Yeah.
so I know that they are definitely good if they able to do that.
That is a I'm trying to think that is an establishing matchup of like, oh, who's this person? Oh, they beat Flash Metroid in the bracket. Like, oh, okay.
I see.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to see. Actually, it looks like Jay Rain sent Yurikov to losers too. So the match we're waiting on is 2 people Jay Rain sent down to losers. But yeah, we are going to be taking a quick break. So everybody go and get some water. Do what it is you got to do. But we will be back with Guilty Gear Strive here for East Coast Throwdown's Community Throwdown. Don't go away. We'll be here.